Okay, today we are going to continue our work with percentages. So today we're finding the percentage. So we've worked on finding the part, we've worked on finding the whole, and today we're going to solve for percentage. So it says a school held a jump roping contest and Diego jumped for 20 minutes. So our whole is 20 minutes. That's our whole, and that would be our 100%. Okay? So as we're working, let's take a look at this problem. It says Jada jumped for 15 minutes. What percentage of Diego's time is that? Lynn jumped for 24 minutes. What percentage of Diego's time is that? And Noah jumped for 9 minutes. What percentage of Diego's time is that? So the strategy that I'm going to use to help me solve this problem is a table. So I have my minutes and I have my percentage. So I did say that my starting ratio was 20 minutes. If that's my starting ratio, that means that's my 100%. I am going to solve for 15 minutes of Jada's jump rope time, 24 minutes of Lynn's time, and 9 minutes of Noah's time. I'm solving for percentage, so what I'm looking for is this unknown piece. So to be able to solve that using a table, I need to get my minutes down to 1. To do that, I'm going to divide by 20 to get my 1 minute. When I divide by 20 on this side, I get 5%. Okay? So every 1 minute is 5%. Now that I know that, I can take my unit rate or my percentage of down to 1 minute and multiply it. Okay? So I have my 15 minutes times each minute is 5%. Which would give me 75% total. So she jumped 75% of Diego's jump time. I would do the same thing here. I have my 24 minutes times each minute is 5%, which gives me a jump time of 120%. Lastly, for Noah, I'm going to do my same process. Noah jumped for 9 minutes times my 5% per minute is a total percentage of 45%. So he jumped 45%. Now what it's asking me to do in this next question here is to think about what percentage it is for that I got up here. So I got 75%. 120%, I'm just copying from my work up here, and 45%. When I take my part over my whole, I do that with my calculator. So I take my part, 15, divided by my 20, I'm going to get 0.75. Oops, sorry, 0.75. I wrote that in the wrong column. Then I'm going to do my 24 divided by my whole of 20, and I get 1.2. Lastly, 9 divided by 20, and I get 0.45. Okay? So when I do that, I get a decimal here. That's not how we're used to seeing percent, because that is the decimal form. So what I need to do is multiply each of these times 100. Then I would get my percent. So I have 100%. 75 times 100 is 75%. 1.2 times 100 is 120%. And lastly, times 100 is 45%. Okay, so I have my percentages here. So what do we notice here that is happening? Every time we could solve like this using a table, or just like before when we figured out a pattern in an algorithm, there is an algorithm here. We take our part divided by our whole, and it would give us a decimal times 100, gives us our percent. Even if our whole is bigger, that's okay, because it is okay to have over 120%. So we have part over whole equals a decimal times 100 would give me my percent. Okay, so as we're working on that strategy, I want to try a couple more. See if I can get this to show both what I'm working on. Okay, so it says a restaurant has a sign in the front of the door that says maximum 75 people. So that is our whole in this problem. The max people we can have is 75. What percentage of capacity is 9 people? So we're going to take our part over our whole, which is 9 over our 75 people. So we're looking at what percentage would that be? We take our 9 divided by 75 is 12 hundredths, sorry. Then we multiply that times 100 would be 12%. Okay, let's try this one. Our part is 51 people divided by our whole of 75 people. 51 divided by 75 is 0.68. That's a decimal. We need a percent, so we multiply by 100 to get our 68%. Okay, last one. Let's try this one. What is 84 people? What percent is 84 people? 84 is our part. Even though it's bigger, our whole stays at 75 because it's consistent. 84 divided by 75, we get 1.12. That's our decimal. I need it to be a percent, so I multiply by 100, and we get 112%, which makes sense because this part is larger than our whole, so it makes sense that we're over 100%. Okay, so make sure you use these notes. You copied them down as we went to help you. There's also a lesson 16 summary on the back that shows you the table, a double number line, and then how we kind of use the algorithm to help us. Part over whole, C over B, so part over whole times 100, and that's how we solve for percent.